welcome to ArtCo Drone. I'm Greg.
I'm John.
All day today, he's John, all day.
I've still got my music going, so I'm still dancing here.
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
Yeah, it takes a few moments. Yeah, you've got preview music and it's all very confusing. But anyway, just a quick couple of things. If we get any spinny things and buffers, it's okay. I'll upload the replay later on. It's all good.
Okay, great to be back, Greg. How's it been going? A couple of great shows the last few weeks.
Well, the last few weeks, yeah, but last week specifically not so great. But let's not talk about that. It's going to be good today.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, before we do anything, we've got our first video clip that I want to put up on the screen. Let's just play that now. John doesn't know about this one, but give it a click.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I didn't see that one coming.
Birthday to you.
Thanks, mate.
It's John's birthday today, and unfortunately he's got loud music in his ear. I'm sorry about the loud music to you. You've got the preview. I'll turn that off. Happy birthday to John. Let's kill that so he can have his ears back.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Press stop, please, producer.
It was a great day, thank you. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Happy birthday to John.
Good fun, thank you.
Speaking of birthdays, however, there's more than one birthday happening around, and our second clip.
That's not me.
Of course, it is the Queen's birthday weekend, and we thought it appropriate to pay our respects to our flealess leader. I remember the days when they still actually used to do this, sing this at school.
Yeah, we don't sing that one anymore, mate. I don't know what school you went to.
What year did they actually change the anthem to the current one?
It happened much later, you know. But Australia, we've been a federation for 120 years. So but it must have been some time ago. When I went to primary school, we used to sing that, but you know, we threw that one out. It's not a bad song actually to play if you like the music, but no, I'll go with the Advance Australia Fair now.
Yeah, Thunderbird 6 said, doesn't she have 3 birthdays a year? Probably, yeah, because it's not actually her real birthday, but we just have the holiday here because it's like a good place to have it in the calendar. But anyway. Speaking of videos that we haven't prepared for, there's a third video that we're going to play now quickly, and I'll get everyone to pay close attention. So this one only just came out overnight, and I saw it and I thought, well, we're going to have to quickly talk about it. So DJI and learning.
Yeah, look, I can't really pick up what it is. I can see like a bit of rotor action in the back. So whether it's something that flies or not, you know, the last release we had from DJI was for an action camera, whether it's an Osmo or something else. I know recently they've released a companion computer that goes onto the matrice so that you can do onboard processing, which is clever. And DJI are moving towards AI as fast as they can. So for AI to be successful, I think they've worked out that rather than downloading the images, you need to do as much as you can on board with the images before they're sent. So we don't know. That's definitely not the companion computer that they're going to release. It's something else. We're still sort of thinking they might release a racing quad of some kind. I don't know why they haven't yet, but anyway, there's a guess in there for that as well. Yeah,
I think that's coming. But speaking of newsworthy items, let's get into the news. And we've got a couple of extra stories here at the moment. So we've got a full week. If we run out of time, we'll just stop early in terms of the news.
I don't want to keep our guests waiting forever.
Oh, look, he's cool. He's cool in the background there. The first one is entitled Can Doom. And this particular story, this canister-shaped 40mm loitering munition can be hand-tossed or fired from a grenade launcher. It's built on a highly adaptable platform. Now, this video that we've got of it is certainly the munition that it's got contained in it. There's a quick little demo video of that. Very interesting.
Yeah, this platform, that shape of platform has been developed by the military for a while, and in terms of certain how it's deployed with a rocket launcher, and then, of course, it can hover over station. There's a couple of really good things about the design of that kind of aircraft. Is one, first of all, stability. When you've got such a low center of gravity below the thrust line of the aircraft, it does make it kind of stable. And even if it was tumbling, the idea is that you set up the center of gravity so that if it was tumbling and it could deploy, it would actually stabilize itself once the rotors get going. So, interesting stuff. I mean, it's certainly a good little carrier, and as a shape itself, it's a good shape flying as well. Not so much for fast forward flight at all, but good carrying shape for sure, and good in wind. Very good in wind.
Yeah, and our second story today, we've got, made some noise there. We've got some new drone footage and high-resolution satellite imagery allegedly showing evidence of illegal work being done at Adani's controversial Carmichael coal mine project, according to environmental group Coast and Country. Adani denies the allegation. Can you play that again for me? Let's play that again, because it was only a brief clip.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more environmental compliance being done, with quadcopters and so forth, just nice and easy to do. And the other thing, of course, is it's not illegal. You can see there where they're flying, they're stepped off. There's no, breaking any of the 30-meter rules and so forth. They're well off anybody that might be underneath it, but also no problem to fly in the airspace. And, that's kind of one of the good things for the environment that our aircraft can really handle well. I know Greenpeace are using a lot of quads at the moment. It's really handy for them. It means they don't have to bump ships into each other. They can get their footage from the air.
Yeah, I won't go into the politics of, environment and all of that kind of stuff, but regardless, the legalities, which are interesting, definitely flying even over someone else's land, as long as you're not breaking the 30-meter rule. Yep. There's no problem with that.
No,
correct.
No, not yep. Crown airspace is Crown, provided that it's an airspace that's available to you, and it's not under federal aviation law. But apart from that, that's Crown land.
Yeah, absolutely. And our third story today, this one is a DJI related story. Now, unfortunately, this is one of those times where John's got the volume at full. We'll get that fixed in a future edition of Wirecast.
Yeah, that's a big...
Let's just pause the video there. Unfortunately, John's got a whole heap of stuff in his ear. We'll get that fixed in a future edition of Wirecast.
I've had a good look at this aircraft, and obviously it's a large X8. We believe, looking at the specs, it'll haul 15 kilos for around 15 minutes. So that's not bad. It's a heavy lift aircraft. You'd want to have a lot of money for batteries for it. It wouldn't be a cheap airplane. The camera that's sitting there underneath that aircraft right now is worth about $100,000. So
someone told me the other day, I thought it was about 150. So
by
the time you look at the camera and the lens and the aircraft, 150, let's say 250. Yeah, easily $2 to $250,000 there.
Yeah, when you get up to that kind of aircraft, you can see you've got heat sinks on the ESCs. It's a working airplane. I'm not sure. We couldn't find out whether it's got any sort of water protection that might protect the aircraft. But I mean, that's a nasty thing if you muck that one up. If you roll it over. end
Yeah.
over end. It's a pretty expensive mistake. But yeah, they're a lot of these things have been built on Pixhawk platforms before, the large octocopters, and some of the earlier DJI
Highest standards.
A3
Storm,
autopilots.
our professional
Sorry,
But,
let's just go back to the studio shot. There we go.
heavy lifter.
Wrong button. We're getting there.
But a lot of the a lot of those sort of airplanes where they've been kind of put together, you know, in homebrew before, now DJI is obviously looking at that market to be worthwhile for them. I can't see them selling. You know, they're not going to sell off the shelf like a Phantom 4 Pro would.
And this one's not selling. This one is called DJI Studio, and it's a rental service for the DJI Storm, which is the name of the aircraft. So
yeah, that's right. Yep. It's a, you know, they might move into that market, but they probably make just as much money, you know, renting them out. So who knows?
yeah, I think so. And our next story for today. There are calls for the MM-wave spectrum to be available for high-altitude platform stations. So this is a call from Facebook, and we've seen the high-altitude aircraft before.
Yep.
Where they're, you know, spinning around and doing some good stuff with the solar panels and whatnot to stay up and loiter for a long period of time, but using that for telecommunications. And Facebook are reportedly asking in Australia for that spectrum to be reserved for that purpose.
I think it's a good move. We know that it's going to happen eventually. We looked at the high altitude platform, the Zephyr, when we were last down at Avalon Air Show, and those guys have got a base now up in northern Western Australia. They've got a dedicated operating base. While that thing's at altitude, it takes about 8 hours to get to 65,000 feet, and it can stay there for around 24 days before it needs a recharge. So satellite type gear, it will. It has a horizon range, horizon to horizon, of 1,000 kilometres at that altitude. So it's pretty amazing. But as we start to see more development, you know, we need to move away from domestic Wi-Fi. I mean, that's becoming very, very obvious now. And as you know, robotic aircraft start to be doing more medical services and surveillance and so forth, they will release a band. The medical industry has a Wi-Fi band which sits just above where we are. So a little tip for flyers: when you are selecting a channel, if you're doing a go as high as you can, often you'll find that's a little bit cleaner. Often, you know, if they're off-the-shelf Wi-Fi modems that are around the houses, sometimes miss out on the top 3 or 4 frequencies. If you can select that on your aircraft, you're going to find a cleaner band. And, you know, we've had a look at actually the medical band is very, very clean. So what we see is, we're going to see is a dedicated Wi-Fi band being licensed to robotic aircraft. We just don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen for sure. It's going to have to.
Absolutely. And our next one we got here, autonomous artificial intelligence powered nano drones, the PULP project. DroneNet is a deep learning powered visual navigation engine that enables autonomous navigation of a pocket-sized quadrotor in a previously unseen environment. Let's play the clip. That by itself is pretty amazing, but when you put all of that power into a 27-gram nano drone, that's just insane. Now, I took the audio out of this clip so we can talk over the top of this. Ken showed some stuff on his show with this little drone, and you can see the size of it compared to a penny over there.
Yep.
Absolutely minuscule.
Yeah, 27 grams too. A very, very low risk in terms of you know, danger to the public and so forth. We think that these type of aircraft are going to get more and more, if you like, waivers and be able to do more with them purely because of their low risk model. But you know what's smart. They're getting smarter and smarter, that's for sure.
Yeah, but what I really love, the computer in this thing is using as little as 64 milliwatts to do what it's doing. It does peak up to a higher number of 284 milliwatts, but this is not a remotely piloted aircraft. This is a full artificial intelligence aircraft where it is learning its environment for the first time. You launch it and it goes and explores and learns. And if someone opens a door in a corridor, it will sit and avoid it.
Yep. As I said earlier, with the DJI's new computer that goes onto the matrice, we're moving towards more and more airborne processing these days for all sorts of reasons. The stronger the processors are, because we know flight controllers are quite simple in terms of what they're doing. They've got good micro sensors. They can, the flying and navigation stuff is easy, but we're going to see more and more onboard processing for AI, also stitching photographs together, everything from weather analysis. So you've got sensors for that kind of thing where you can, the actual aircraft itself can transpond weather reports and weather data and analysis as it goes.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Next, moving on, back in February of this year, NASA announced that it had selected 2 organisations to host the final phase of its 4-year series of increasingly complicated technical demos involving small unmanned aircraft, commonly known as drones. According to a news report, several drones were spotted last week flying at the same time in Reno, Nevada, including one from the rooftop of a casino parking garage. They've been doing other tests in rural areas, says the report. The test will continue throughout the following months in Reno. So look, essentially what I understand, NASA's going and building air corridors, no different to what people have been doing in manned aviation for some time, but then adding on to that the ability to go and sense each other and lodge flight plans and all of that goodness.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that seems to be the model they're working on. At the moment, Singapore has drone corridors, if you like, that the Singapore police use. And so they're mostly regular patrols where they've got the airplane flies an automated flight path that does its looking, ducking and weaving, and it's not sort of flying over any areas where the public might be injured. So, we're going to see more of that type of UTM. Nevada's a great place to test anything that you fly because there's so much open space out there. And that's why, of course, you've got some of the better, more secretive military installations out there on the east of California because of the high desert there. Be interesting to see just how that develops. We're very proud that in Canberra we got some home deliveries working there, if you like, and I think that's what they're going to be working more towards in Nevada.
Yeah, I hear Canada's getting drone delivery as well in the very near future. So
yep.
Starting to spread. Lots of changes in Canada. There's too much to talk about. A lot of people have covered that. We'll leave that alone unless you want to talk about it, John.
No, just the economics of it. I mean, when people first started saying in the early days, you're going to get your pizza delivered by drone, I just laughed. I thought, okay, this is comical. And what I don't want my pizza to come that way. I want, it'll be too cold or whatever reason. It just seemed like a novelty to me. And then I went to a discussion about what they call the last mile, which is the way delivery and trucking companies look at their costs and what the costs are for the last mile. So when you're sending hub to hub and you've got distribution centers, then all of a sudden that last mile from the last distribution point to the person's house is the expensive one. And they just talked about saving billions and billions of dollars, also costing the economy. So once you've got a split from the hub, excuse me, where you might have 10,000 packages going between a hub, you've got an environmental cost of that. But once you do the last mile, the environmental cost just increases exponentially. So I get the economics of it now. Yeah, I believe it's going to be a huge business for robotic aircraft.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to skip a couple of stories. I'm going to go ahead through to 1.5, just in the interest of time. That's a quick little preview for my producer. Let's move on. Vodafone has tested technology that sends information to drones about no-fly zones, potentially forcing them to land if pilots accidentally stray into restricted zones. We've got some exclusive footage of the new technology in use. So Vodafone are seeing this drone right now, and they're wanting to do something with it to get it to land. Oh, there we go. Now, I'm being humorous in the choice of video footage that I showed there, but that's to prove a point. If you've got a drone in the air, you don't necessarily want to be taking over control from a human who knows a better way to get it down than you.
No, certainly not legal at the moment anywhere in the world for that kind of interference with an aircraft. There are, obviously national security places where national security might be a question. So if you're going to fly in those places, you're silly. But at the moment, there's no cause for that kind of technology. And I think the telcos are pretty much has been sitting back for a while, looking at how they might eventually cash in on, what is $127 billion industry by the end of next year. That's a lot of money, and they're the type of company that if communications are involved, those telco companies won't sit back and miss an opportunity if they can see it for drone surveillance. I mean, they're looking at connectivity as well. Some of the big carriers have always looked about the way future, obviously when the skies are full of the aircraft, how they're going to use their networks for sending the data. Already they're looking at ways that they might be able to have a surcharge on that. You pay extra toll for airborne data.
Yeah, but you know what's absolutely insane, John? The people who are wanting to or would want to misuse a drone, are they going to necessarily use an off-the-shelf one, or are they going to build something to try and evade these types of technology?
Well, that's the way it is now. We have technologies that mean that, it's easy to step outside that. A 3D printed gun is the same. You can't, all of a sudden you can 3D print a pistol in your garage, from plans. And so those sort of risk, if you like, someone's going to do the wrong thing with it, then they were going to do the wrong thing with however they got it anyway. So we know that, that debate has to stay out of our the world, particularly those that recreationally fly. We want to keep flying.
Yeah. Our last story today, operating out of a DHL service centre in Dongguan, a tech manufacturing hub between Shenzhen and Guangzhou. The project delivers cargo weighing up to 11 pounds within a distance of 5 miles. The mini aircraft are supplied by EHang. Drone Maker is best known for its elaborate drone light shows and its effort to build self-flying vehicles carrying human passengers. But a good partnership, I think, with DHL for that trial.
Yeah, again, they're going to be the beneficiaries of it eventually. DHL are certainly going to, want that technology, and it's worthwhile them getting into it. EHang's an interesting company. Another Chinese-based aircraft manufacturer. They seem to be pretty cashed up in terms of their R&D at the moment. They've developed an absolutely beautiful manned UAV, which is there's an oxymoron for you. Well, it's actually a quadcopter that carries a person. And they've had that flying for a while now, and they've over in Abu Dhabi, where they've got much more relaxed rules over there. The Abu Dhabi government is looking at sponsoring and moving forward that technology for their emergency services and police. So every cop won't ride a motorbike anymore. You'll ride a quad.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the end of our news.
Crash crack.
As we get into our news-free zone. Oh no, we've got an alien on the screen right now.
Yeah, there he is.
And no news is good news, so there will be no news on our own, so there.
And let's have shot D2 so we can actually hear him talking. Hey Arthur, how you doing?
Hey, it's great to be here, Greg. Thanks for knocking me up.
Yeah, well, okay, let's not go there. So, welcome.
What was the name of that DHL center, Dong Hong?
Oh, thanks for that. So, Arthur,
Okay.
welcome. You have a channel called ArtCo Drone Solutions. Tell me about how you got into droning.
Well, I bought my first drone about 2 years ago, and it was a Bugs 3. It didn't have GPS, and after flying and crashing out a couple times, I got a little discouraged. But then I got onto YouTube and started watching, and later on, I saved up a few pennies and got a real drone, a DJI Phantom 3 Standard, and that was like night and day when I got that, and I just loved that. And now I have a Phantom 3 Advanced, uh, Mavic Air, and I have this little guy, my little Tello, which I love,
Yeah,
and just having a blast.
it's a nice little drone. And in terms of what made you want to get into droning in the first place?
I think part of it was because I wanted to take video and pictures, photographs from up in the air, because it gives you a different perspective of what's going on down on the ground. You know, I love fishing, and this gives me a way to give me a different perspective on where I'm fishing.
Okay, let's just have a look at some of your video. We've got a clip there. We'll have a look at some of that.
Welcome to another
Oops. Let's try that
episode
again.
of
There we go.
ArtCo Drone Solutions. I want to apologize for the noise. We are here. I'm here with Tim. Tim, say hi, Tim.
Hi guys.
We are here in Idaho Springs, Colorado, where we're going to fly the Taylor water wheel on the Clear Creek here. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
So I've muted the music for our viewers, but unfortunately you've got it still in your headphones. Apologies for that. But
Okay.
this is near a water wheel. You're doing some really beautiful cinematography.
Right?
Now, I've had lots of different pilots go and show me their footage, but talk to me about your particular journey when let's say you're going to make this video today. What are the additional challenges, and how has droning helped you enjoy and explore and all of that kind of story?
Well, it gets me closer to the subject, such as this waterfall. I've driven by it many times over the years, and I thought, wow, drone, I could get a really cool advantage and get really close to it. And also, I could get a really better picture of the water wheel. And the water
Okay.
wheel was used in mining to power the mill that crushed up the gold and silver ore to be smelted into either ingots of gold or silver.
Okay. And where I was trying to go with that question is, I've certainly seen a couple of your other videos, and for those who may not have met you before, you've got some other personal challenges that it takes you quite some time to get out and
Right.
fly.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a birth defect called arthrogryposis, AMC for short. And what it is, it's a contracture of the joints, which is a little bit of a challenge. And after several surgeries, I'm able to walk around on crutches. And thanks to some very nice people in the drone community, they got me a really nice case for the Phantom 3 Advance, a hard shell case with wheels and a handle. It's just great for taking that big drone out. And then the same with the Mavic Air. These people were so nice in getting me a Mavic Air, which I also used in this drone footage. And that's my favorite drone right there, because it's so portable and easy to carry, and it takes just as good a video or photos as the Phantom 3 Advance.
Yeah. Like I've seen you, I think it was in close to your unit where you live at home, getting out and loading up with your drone. You made a video of that, and I was just amazed by me understanding all of the extra bits that you would have done when you're moving the camera from point A to point B, and incredible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So really, really beautiful footage there. And let me ask you, so you've created ArtCo Drone Solutions. That name, are you doing commercial filming as well?
Yes, I do have a limited liability corporation called ArtCo Drone Services, and I'm branching out into real estate, which will be most of the work I'll be doing, and some other things I have in the fire right now that I'm working on at the moment.
Okay. Really, really nice footage there. And I encourage everyone, your channel link is in the description for the video, so I encourage people to go over and check it out, have a look. But Arthur, I hear you're a comedian as well.
Yes, I was a stand-up comic for 25 years. I traveled all over the world. The high point of my career was to entertain our troops in Japan and South Korea, and that was my first time in Asia, and it was a blast, and got to meet a lot of comedians that were very good, that became famous, such as Roseanne Barr, Sinbad, Ellen DeGeneres, and many others.
Speaking of comedy and entertainment, Art, I thought it's, being that you're visiting us today, let's play that game that we love.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to play Stump the Yank.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for this week's edition of Stump the Yank. Now, considering we've got someone who's a comedian, I thought I'd have something a little bit different today.
Oh.
Specifically, I've got one just for you. Now, Australia's national joke. John, I don't know if you know this one in the background or not. It helps if I take that off the screen. That's my bad. I'm focusing on... now, you've heard of Two Dogs?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Arthur, as a comedian, your Stump the Yank challenge is, do you know the joke about two dogs, and can you tell it, keeping in mind this is a family show?
No, you can't.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know that joke, Two Dogs.
We'll have to put it in the comments section somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I can give a slightly tamer version.
Oh,
if I'll try and tone it down.
And
a
you
young
will have
Indian.
heard it.
You will have heard it. You will have heard it.
Oh, okay.
A young.
Indian, okay.
You've Googled it, have you?
And I think I know.
You know the gag.
It's kind of a version of the American joke about where the Indian brave wanted to know how he got his name.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Okay, two dogs
having fun,
or relations maybe.
Yeah. I thought I'd ask that one. We won't actually tell the joke because it is a family show after all. But let me give you one other one.
Well, wait a minute. I got one for you that's family friendly that you'll enjoy. There are 3 disabled people going through the desert of Australia, and they're looking for water. They're dying of thirst. And there's a blind guy, a guy on crutches, and a guy in a wheelchair. They got the blind guy out front because, well, he's got a higher sense of smell, and he could smell the water better. So he's leading the pack, and they're going through the desert, and he trips over this rock and goes down this hill and splash into this oasis. He swims across, gets up out the other side, and says, "Oh my God, I can see." Okay. Then the guy in the crutches, he hits the same rock, tumbles down the hill, splash right into the oasis. Crutches float away. He can walk. He hits that thing and just tears down the oasis on the bank.
And is that frozen? So we don't get the punchline.
That can't happen.
Oh my goodness.
Oh dear. I was really looking forward to that one too. It's one I haven't heard. I'll be able to get him back anyway.
Look, we'll see if he comes back. If not, let's go on to something else for a couple of minutes. Anyway, it's time for FPV Korner. That was really, really annoying. Anyway, it is what it is.
All in the timing. Yeah,
it's all in the timing. FPV Korner. Now, this particular week, now that I'm getting flustered and out of order, I did have another Stump the Yank question for him. We'll have to come back to that another day. So FPV Korner for this week, let's play the clip. Okay. So this one's from Western Sydney FPV, and it's the titled Bando Gold Mine.
Like this really pushes your limits and helps create you into a better pilot with all the obstacles. That's why we go to so much effort of finding these abandoned locations. This is by far one of the best ones that we've seen in Sydney. This is something that you'd see in like Detroit or something like that.
Pretty much what we look for is like obstacles and holes and places where people aren't like usually, like we don't want to fly into people regularly, so an abandoned place is really good. A really massive abandoned place like this is just it's the best.
The Western Sydney. So first, that it looks pretty good. New discovery, time flying, making what's pretty good to me. Just hearing in the chat room that ArtCo said Rendezvous gave up on him, so Rendezvous didn't like the punchline. Anyway. So back to the topic though, this particular Western Sydney FPV squad, it's a friendly social group.
To relax on flying, I seem to start getting real shaky on the sticks. That results into more trembling in the controls and inaccurate movements. I don't know. I think the best therapy when you're flying is putting some earbuds in and listening to some music. I find when you've got music going, it blocks out your surroundings. And also, I find when I don't hear the quad, I feel like I can get more of a flow happening. But yeah, what do you think of that?
Music, just getting a little flow.
So as I was saying, the Western Sydney FPV squad, check them out and look them up on Facebook. There's a link to their channel also in the description if you want to go out and learn how to fly FPV as opposed to doing the photography drone kind of photography. Look them up. They're more than happy to go out and show you the ropes. And sorry that you've got the noisy music in your head there, John.
That's all right. I'm digging it.
Well, you're a blues kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way it looks monochromatic.
Yeah, very much indoors.
Yeah.
And a quick little comment.
Thanks for tuning in to Western Sydney FPV Squad. My name's Slippery Sebastian.
I'm Huey FPV.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when a Western Sydney FPV Squad video pops up.
And don't forget, guys, leave a comment below on what you'd like to see next. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Yeah, great.
So a big thank you as well to Greg Hilton, who has added the choice of music in there. Certainly.
Oh, that's good. No,
yeah, Greg does that every week.
I love the music and also the comment about music, you know, with flying. I mean, FPV would have me on the edge of the seat. A lot of people say it's very relaxing, you know, as well. So, but good on you guys. Great for starting up the chapter out there. And yeah, we'll support it as much as we can. I can hear Art coming back. Bring him back. I want to hear the punchline.
He's back. And
back.
What is the punchline?
Oh, yeah. Set us up just to roll me back a bit. Hang on a second.
Hang on.
Yeah, the wheelchair guy. The wheelchair guy went down and hit the rock, and he went to the bottom. So go from there. Yeah, go from there.
Hang on. We can't hear you yet. The guests can't hear you. There's two Art Carlsons to my producer. Pick the second one. The second one. Almost. Look, we're having fun today. Unfortunately, the wonders of our internet caused that dropout. And are we going to get him back? Yes, and we're nearly there. Let's do the audio one. We've got him on the screen. Let's do the audio. We've got to add him there as well. And nearly there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we've got him.
Okay, so the guy, he wheels across the bottom of the Oasis, up out the other side, and he looks down and he goes, "Oh, look, 2 brand new tires."
I think that's cool.
Now, before we change that shot to the one that you're looking at now to my producer, reapply the template, everything's going fun, and, you know, we love challenges of technology.
There we go.
So I'm going to get Art. I'm going to put you on the screen again for a minute full screen so that I can pick up my notes that I've already discarded.
Okay.
And I've got one more.
That queen?
Sorry?
How old is the queen?
She's up there. I don't know the exact number, but certainly
she's on the verge of breaking Queen Victoria's reign. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one more quick stump to yank for you. An Australian phrase. Australian phrase. I'll give you 3 options. Bloody oath. Bloody oath. Bloody oath.
Bloody oath.
Is it A, a curse? B, it's true? C, you're making a promise to your wife when it's that time of the month? D, something from our convict past when you're telling the truth to a judge before you get a flogging for your sentence?
I'm going to go with C.
No, incorrect. It's just something that's true.
Oh, I kind of figured that.
Anyway, Arthur, look, thank you for being with us, and give us one more short joke before you go, a quick one.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good today. Took some Imodium AD before the show, and I get finally fart with confidence.
Okay. Look, thank you for joining us, and we'll definitely check out your channel. And Art has some live shows as well, so encourage other people to go and check him out.
I have a fishing channel and another channel. It's a conservative talk channel called Art's Place.
Okay. Look, thanks for joining us. Catch you later, Art.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to have been had.
See you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so Johnny.
I like that. I was going to say that it was great to hear about Art's flying and see some of his stuff and interest today too. You know, there's so many people out there that find great fun in the hobby, but also combining their love of photography and, of course, YouTube and everything. So, you know, we know. Congratulations to everybody out there that does this. Good on you. Go hard. I wanted to say about the FPV Korner thing while we're just wrapping up on that, how nice that was in monochromatic. So although it's using color photography, the actual landscape of the tone of where they were shooting gives you that black and white kind of feel with the blues. It's really good. And yeah, as some of the comments were saying, you know, the FPV guys are getting cinematic. It's not just all about now, you know, rock and roll flips and upside down and radical flying. There's actually FPV flying inside some really interesting spaces and interesting landscapes. So you know, you're getting this incredible ride. I mean, we're gonna see that sector, if you like, of interest in the hobby take us to incredible places. And what I'd love to have as a viewer is the FPV goggles myself, so that when I'm watching someone across the internet, I'm watching what they're seeing when they're flying, which would be, you know, to me the best way to watch FPV is to have the gogs on, you know, and have that virtual reality experience of flying. And I think there's a big entertainment industry there as well, in terms of,
and certainly that thing that we had a few weeks ago with the fly there kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. You know, that's going to be a fun. That's a sort of more of a technology part of the sector. But you know, I can imagine the next versions of Mario Kart that will have you know, FPV racing, and you just log on. Of course, you can play the game, and then very much enjoy the game, but perhaps even log in and look at a virtual reality of the World Championships. You know, the racings where you can, and I know that technology is already available and being used, but I think it'll become more widely, you know, enjoyed by the public. Interesting.
Yeah. Look, very interesting. And just a final quick comment on having Art as our guest. I didn't want to zoom in and focus on it too much, but it's wonderful to see drones being used when someone is not necessarily able to go and run and skip and hop and jump, and to use that to become more mobile and, you know, to go places that you wouldn't otherwise be able to go. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's certainly a way of looking at it. It really is a great, because particularly disabled people that aren't able to get, you know, up and, you know, into more interesting places, perhaps bushwalks or whatever. You can fly there. You know, what a great thing, and to be able to, you know, have that trip, if you like, that flying journey.
And speaking of fly there, we had Talon before a couple of weeks ago, and that service is now launched, and it's now a commercial type service, but there's still a few more trials to be had out there. If you want to go and check out that site, go to fly there, and we'll certainly have him back in a few weeks. We'll see if we can do something with that.
I contacted Tal after the show, Greg, and so you know, to discuss where those guys were going. It was really interesting because I found that show and what those guys were doing were quite captivating. But they are faced with some regulatory hurdles at the moment, and we talked about the changes that are going on here in Australia with EVLOS at the moment. So how that's going to affect things in the future about the pilot and command being remote from the aircraft, actually flying the aircraft with just an observer. We're going to see those sort of things start to happen as well. But yeah, good on them. Love that idea and area of the industry as well.
Yeah. Okay, look, we're running short of time. We've only got about 10 minutes left, and we've got our Explore Australia clip. Let's run with that, and we'll have a chat over the top of it.
Yep.
So just starting at the beginning, the first one from Daniel Shaffron, drone over Ellisbrook Valley. This is located on Rushton Road in the suburb of Martin, recognised as the richest wildflower location in Perth. 500 species of wildflowers in a beautiful hidden valley, only minutes from the Gosnells town centre. Lovely area.
Now you can see here there's a very nice tight spot to fly in, and whereas it, depending on what you can see, always flying those things backwards looks good as well in terms of the reveal, but absolutely beautiful colour in that shot. Do you know what aircraft that was, Greg, that's shooting that colour?
Just reading here, and it wasn't listed, but certainly if you want to check it out, Daniel Shaffron, the link's in the description. Go and check out his channel.
Yeah, and light too. Look, having that sunlight, just working that sort of area like that. You're at the right time of day. Really nice. You won't often
sorry,
get. Occasionally when you do work areas like that, just you want to be careful with the compass errors. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes you'll get some minerals that will have magnetic properties in them that will give you're often just doing takeoff and landing, but you might need to move or elevate the aircraft if you want to get going without compass errors. I just say that because we've seen that in those locations occasionally, where there is a lot of geological variation in the ground, you will get magnetic issues sometimes.
Yeah. Our second clip from Izzy Razbufnik. I hope I got that right. William Bay National Park, Western Australia. This contains Greens Pool and Elephant Rocks, which are some of the most beautiful swimming spots in the world, according to him. And looking at the video, I don't dispute that. The video was taken during Easter holidays and the sea was remarkably uncrowded at the time.
Beautiful.
While this is playing out, John, do you want to briefly mention Drone Camp? What's happening with that?
Yeah, look, we're going to be postponing Drone Camp from this year. A couple of reasons. One was that we did have a large group, unfortunately, that were booked in that pulled out, so that made it unviable. A bit disappointing for us, but we're committed to getting Drone Camp up and running. The website's still there, but with a notice on it. So I think what we'll need to do too is to look to a couple of partners in education to make sure that we're hitting our target and getting people in. We just did the call out generally. We had some cadets coming in from southern New South Wales and out in the Blue Mountains area. So a great idea for kids who want to get into flying, and perhaps they're out there in more regional areas and there's not a lot going on for them at their school. So that's what it's really designed for. So we'll hold it off. We'll look at dates for next year that might be more suitable and people are available for. So, yep. Take note, drone camp is on hold at the moment until 2020. Nice
and
stuff.
And again, while this is playing out, just thanks again to Greg Hilton. Not only does he do the work on FPV Korner, but certainly collating a lot of this. If anyone's got a clip they'd like to send in for the show, send it to upload@gregkuhnert.com.
Yeah.
I'll put that up on the screen a little bit later. Our third clip today, this is from DAEJ Media, taken from Surfers Paradise Beach, and he's done a time lapse there, which is really stunning.
Now that's probably the Mavic 2 Pro there, or Zoom with the hyperlapse in it, which are great. So you can set that up for an automated flight now, and select how long you want it to run for, so you can have a 20-second clip that'll take you, I think it's 15, 16 minutes to shoot. So that's what you're looking at there. You're looking at compressed, obviously, images. Great idea. Built into the aircraft again.
And our last one, Ferg-Taz, one of the ones we feature on a regular basis. Mount Roland stands at 1233 metres above sea level and provides a stunning backdrop to the Kentish, I've never heard of that name before, the Kentish municipality. The walk takes in the plains and plateau leading to the summit of the peak, and there's a couple of tracks up there to the summit. I've never heard of that area. He gets around, Ferg.
Yeah, doesn't he? Yeah, that's right. Doing a lot of travelling. That's the way you're going to travel to get this kind of stuff. Look at that. That's great.
Almost looks like the Blue Mountains there, just the haze off them in the background.
Yep, there you go.
I'm just having a little pause and reading some of the chat in the background. I'm curious to people, how much buffering has there been during the show? Certainly from our end, it looked like we had a red light coming up all the time.
I didn't go too bad from here, but we lost Art for that short distance, but other than that, we didn't have a lot of buffering. A little bit there now.
just by way of interest for people, we've got something on the screen from our Wirecast console. We've got 153 dropped frames. That's a metric of, how many individual frames are dropped during the show.
Yep.
Before we had all of these problems with Telstra, it was 0. Then over time it went up and down, and today was not too bad. But it's better than it was last week. Last week was totally unwatchable, but hopefully it's going to stay at least this good, if not get better.
I'm just searching through my mail this week too, Greg, and for those that might be interested, there is a job going with Australian UAV for a project manager for their Sydney Inner West. So for those in Sydney, auav.com.au, again, australianuav.com.au's got a job going for a project manager. They are a very, very successful UAV company, doing lots of survey work, doing lots of government work, and so they've got a Sydney base. I believe they originally set up in Canberra, but now they have a Sydney base, and they have a manager. They're looking for a manager's assistant in their day-to-day operations. So,
okay.
Experience in project management is necessary. If you know about survey inspection, experience for fee-for-service consulting services, writing project bids and proposals and so forth. So they're getting work coming in. They need someone in the office. So check them out, australianuav.com.au.
Okay. Interesting, and thank you for that, John. Look, we've come to the end of our time, just a little bit over an hour. A couple of quick community service announcements. Please do follow us on the social media platforms shown there. If you would like to send us an email, the way to do that is via this email address. If you want to send a video, make sure you do send the link in, not the actual video file itself. Or if you want to send anything postal, we've got this one over here, 5/127 Princess Highway, Sylvania, 2224. Now, we've reached the end of the show. Apologies for the little bit of buffering we did have, and apologies overall. I was a little bit frazzled during the show today. It's frustrating when you see flashing red lights in front of you, and it's like, warning, danger, Will Robinson, and things are going off, and it puts you off your game. I felt a little bit off today, but it is what it is. We've had fun anyway doing it. Any last words from you, John?
No, thanks. Have a great week, everyone. Fly safely. Winter up here in Sydney. In Australia, remember your batteries are going to be down as the temperature goes down. So watch that range and keep an idea on your battery temps while you fly. That's it from me.
Okay, have a good one. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.